the Tron grid. Okay. Let me make it speaker view. All right. I'm going to admit all these people. Okay, it looks like we're almost all getting here. Hi, guys. Oh, there's Sergio. I guess we can wait a few more minutes because there's supposed to be about 16 people and we're at 10. So I have some brief introductions to do and then go over this code of conduct, and then we'll do introductions with you or each other. So, and also you guys, just so you know, this is being live streamed to a private link, an unlisted link that will be given to certain people who have a certain tier of ticket for the festival. So if you don't want your likeness on screen, that could be, you know what I mean, like other people beyond this room seeing it, then you should turn your camera off, because others besides those in this conference will see this recording. Not like public, we're not just like putting it up for everyone, but we'll be sending it to certain people, so it will be recorded. And we're at 11, so we're getting there. Why don't we all take a minute, which I'll ask again, is just tell us, I'm just typing this in, tell us your name and where you are at right now. I am Nikki Selkin and I am in San Francisco. I'm also going to type it.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Camille, and I'm in Oakland.
Hi, I am Cristina. I am from Peru.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon. My name's Charlotte, and I'm from LA, but I'm currently in Brooklyn, New York.
All right.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and I am in Antioch, California.
Hi, I'm Randy Alva. I'm from Peru.
All right, let me see if there's any more joining. We're still waiting on a couple people. Just give it like 2 more minutes. And then we will do this. Oops, sorry, that's not supposed to happen. Okay, it's 11:05. I might start soon. The first thing I wanted to say was that hi, I'm Nikki. I'm the Creative Development Director at Gray Area. We're an arts nonprofit in San Francisco with a mission to apply art and technology to create social and civic impact through education, incubation, and public events. And we use digital tools to create art and design projects that benefit society. We test and scale projects with high impact potential, teach digital tools to support artists and technologists, and inspire our community by promoting meaningful work. And what we've been doing since the pandemic has happened is a lot of online programming. We've had like, I think over 150 or 60, probably more now, online classes, events, live streams, all kinds of things, including the festival that this is part of. Um, and I'm glad everybody came to sign up, and I'm excited to see all the people from all over, which is probably the best part about COVID for me was if there's a best part, is just that I was able to meet and bring on teachers from all over the world. Like I've had teachers from Japan. We have someone who's in Vienna. We've had people, someone from Africa teaching like in these places, not just from, which has been a really big deal. Um, and I did want to also, I put in the chat a link that you should click on if you want to. It's the code of conduct. I just wanted to make clear that Gray Area is committed to providing a friendly, safe, and welcoming environment for all, regardless of gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, personal appearance, race, ethnicity, age, religion, or nationality. And we expect everyone to treat each other with respect and just be mindful of your speech and behaviors, even in spaces like this. Can affect other people, and no harassment will be tolerated. But I would like to point out that obviously, I don't think anyone here will intend to do harm to anyone else. And however, the technology field specifically has been often hostile and unwelcoming to women, people of color, and queer people throughout historically. So I want to, and I myself, earlier at least in my career, have witnessed and sometimes put the kibosh on microaggressions toward women and others. So we've worked very hard to make this an inclusive and welcoming space for everyone. Also, I would invite everyone, if you want to put your preferred gender pronoun next to your name, that is welcome as well. And you can do that by clicking on your image. I think you can click on your name at the bottom, and then you could add in like they, them, she, her, he, him, or whatever you feel like having. So that is the main thing, I think. I think that's all of it. And then once again, I did say this earlier, but this is being live streamed to a private link, an unlisted link on YouTube, and we will share this video with certain people who've paid for a ticketing tier at our festival. We'll also probably keep it for archive. And the good thing about this is I can actually send it to you toward the end of this class. You can rewatch it. So if there was things you forgot or wanted to just review about the course, you'll be able to go over it again at your own time. And I think that's all the housekeeping details. I'll be monitoring the chat and try to help if I can, or I might like speak up and be like, hey, someone is asking this, if whatever. But without further ado, we have our Artivive creator, which I'm really excited about. We just reminisced about how we met a year ago, the festival in IRL at Gray Area. And I was like, oh my God, it's been a year. I can't believe everything has changed so much. I haven't seen you in a year, and here we are in my weird landscape that I created, radical simulation. So I'm going to let you start talking, and I will stop my video.
Thank you so much, Nikki.
Wait, one more thing, you guys mute when you're not talking, just because it's good practice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody who's joining and taking the time. I hope that we'll have a lot of fun. So there are 2-3 things that we could have a look before we're starting so that everybody's on the same page. I welcome everybody who wants to use the camera so that I can also see you. That helps me a lot to see how the information is perceived. And we'll also do some testing or we'll look at some artworks with our phone during the presentation. So that will also help me to see when you're still watching, so I'm not talking during this time. Like I said, I'm very happy to be here, and thank you very much for the opportunity. For now, I'm in Vienna, Austria, but we also have an office in San Francisco. That's how we also met last year during the festival, and we also kept in touch with you guys at Gray Area. So also the invitation came like this, over this. Okay, so then I will just start and share my screen. If there are any questions meanwhile, please interrupt me and we can go through it. We have more than enough time. So please use the opportunity to ask me also on the chat, and I can pick it up from the chat then. If something is not working, just let me know and we're going from there. So I hope that everything will be very casual and very easy to follow. So yeah, let's start. I will start with this screen. And what I will ask you is to install the Artivive app, because during the presentation, we'll have a look at some examples. So if you didn't install it yet, you can find it with Artivive in the App Store or Google Play. It should be really easy to install. And the second thing that we'll need is an account, a creator's account, so that we can then afterwards use this account to create some augmented reality artworks. If you didn't register yet, please do. You can go to our website on artivive.com and click on register for free and choose the account that is matching best for you. So we have artist or student accounts. For the student accounts, you will have to sign up with your student email, and then you'll receive an activation link. It takes up to 5 minutes. And with this link, you can activate your account, set up the password, and then we can already start. Okay, maybe you can just give me a little bit of overview in the chat if everybody already installed the app and has the account, then I could start with the next step with the presentation. So can I open this somehow? The chat, here we go. I'll put it on the other screen. Cool. So I will just also put the link for the registration in the chat and install the Artivive app from iTunes or Google Play. Perfect. Then we can start. So let's go a little bit through the agenda that I prepared for today. I will have a short intro about myself and how it came to be Artivive and how the idea came and the experience that we had until now. Then we'll talk a little bit about augmented reality art. I don't know how many of you already had an experience, but I will just start from the beginning, and then we can see if we have or can go a little bit faster. Then we'll have a look at some examples and see why, what happened in the different artworks and why I choose these examples to show you today. Then we'll talk a little bit about Artivive and our community. And then we're going to a live demo. So I will create an Artivive project live so that you can follow. And after this, we will have a short break, and I will ask you to search for some things around your house that you can then afterwards use to create an augmented reality artwork. Then we'll go through some ideas how you can use easy animations, some tips and tricks that we learned down the road, and some tools that you might use. Okay, so my background is in marketing. I had an agency for 10 years where from the beginning I wanted to use technology to interact with the users or to play some products. So unfortunately, from the beginning, when I started before the agency, after I finished studying here in Austria, I didn't find many agencies that were looking at technologies and numbers. It was everything above the line, below the line with TV commercials, billboards, posters, catalogs, which I found a little bit boring. So we started an agency that was focused more on marketing and technology. It was back in 2005, so it was before the iPhone and before a stable, cheap internet connection at home. So what we did back then was we advertised through CDs. We found a way how we can personalize CDs in a mass production. So we had some interactive content on the CDs and also personalized. So you'll get a CD and you get the content personalized on you, and then you can connect to the internet and send a request or fill out a form. And that worked so good that at some point we won Volkswagen as a client. But in 2007 or 8, Apple decided that we don't need CD slots anymore. So we had to find something new. We tried with USB sticks, but they were much more expensive, so it didn't work so good. But then the iPhone was already out, so we and the smartphones, and we saw the opportunity to use augmented reality for marketing campaigns. And the example that you see in the back is a project, or actually more campaigns that more than one campaigns that we did for Volkswagen in more than 42 countries. And we developed and worked on this project for 4 years. And it grew with each campaign. And you can see that from the technology point, it was amazing how we could use augmented reality to show the cars and deliver a configurator to see the different colors and also rims. But also it could be used directly on the existing car. So you can see how your car would look in different colors or in different rims, or at the dealership, they didn't have to have all the cars. So you can have a better understanding on the spectrum that they're offering. But unfortunately, the problem that we found out, or I found out after some time, was that this technology is not made for marketing, because it's supposed to have a lot of interaction, and the user has to do a lot of different steps that they have to understand in order to get the information. And this information is the same that you will find in the catalog or on the website. So at the end, it's just a gimmick. It doesn't really offer an added value. And many people saw this as a problem, or they didn't really wanted to engage with the app and understand how it works, because like I said, it didn't offer any added value. So in my position as a creative director, I was very frustrated looking at the numbers and seeing that we didn't really have users, or users that we had didn't came back. So I tried to understand why. So we had some interviews, and we looked at how people are interacting, and it was much too difficult on one hand. And the other hand is like they didn't know what to expect. And augmented reality sounded as something very complex that they wouldn't need when deciding on buying a car. With this knowledge and seeing how people are using the app, I saw that augmented reality is actually meant to build stories, to build a narrative, to build up a different kind of storytelling. So at that point, I decided to leave the agency and build up a tool for creatives and artists to see how they use it. And the beginning was just a curiosity to see how other creatives would use this technology to tell stories. And then Artivive was born. And this was in 2017. And we started with a tool, and now we develop it to a platform. So this is how my background brought me to Artivive and to what it is today. But augmented reality is not necessarily augmented reality. So there are also different ways of augmenting the reality. And the way that we decided to go is to always find something in the reality that is unique. So to have something like artwork, which can be a painting, illustration, or a photograph that can be extended through a digital layer into a new format. And I think this is a great example how the digital can extend the reality and telling a totally different story. This is a video from Magic Leap that I fell in love some years ago. And I think it's showing the best how technology can be integrated seamlessly in the reality. But going back to how Artivive is built, is that we have two parts. One is the traditional way of creating art with the opportunity to extend it in a digital space, or for digital art and artists, the opportunity to have something which is representative and the reality to be connected. Long story short, it's actually an image-based augmented reality or tracker-based augmented reality. So for Artivive, you will always need an image, an artwork, a mural, a building, something that is in reality to be recognized and connected to the digital content. And here are different reasons. One of which I think is very important is also to have a better user experience, because the user, the museum's visitor or gallery visitor will know that there is an artwork that they have to look through the app, and then the augmented reality part will come alive. So that's this connection, and they would also have it easier to interact with it. Because if you have, let's say, an augmented reality a sculpture piece that you can place wherever you want, then the user has to choose, which in many cases it's very gives the freedom to the users and to the visitors, and they can interact with the artwork without going to a gallery or to a museum. But it also makes them decide. So it's not necessarily where the artist is somehow guiding the user, but it's a lot in the hands of the users, and sometimes they're unsure if they did it right. So we have this this part which is in the reality, the artwork which is extended into the digital layer, and it's connected to a digital, it's connected to the digital layer. So also having this haptic, having this piece which you can theoretically also hold in hand, gives the digital extension also another value, because you have to be in person, or you have to have this piece, and therefore you own it. It's like maybe how it was some years ago owning a CD. Because nowadays, also if you're looking at music, it's everything on Pandora or Spotify, and it's easy to access. But the joy of finding music, it's not the same as going to a shop and finding the LP or the CD and then going home and listening to the whole album and having this experience, looking also at the artwork and the booklet and the lyrics and so on. It's becoming a commodity. And I think in the art world, it's still important for today to have this connection between the traditional artworks and the digital extension. And I talked a lot about this, and let's have an example from an exhibition that we had here in our office in Austria. we invited different artists to interpret poster as a new medium. Like imagine that the poster would tell a story. How would you extend it? How would the artist build the narrative around it? And in this case, both images are changing totally from the moment that you see them in reality and the perception that you have with the different elements and how the brain tries to understand what you're looking at with the moment where you see that it's animated. The moment that you see, for example, for the left, you start automatically to discover the different elements and understand a little bit more the story or the narrative that the artist is building. On the right side, it's at the beginning more like an image of a sculpture that you didn't really understand what it is. But the moment that you see that it's turning and it's getting to be a hand, it's something that it makes total sense, and you see the poster and the artwork with a total different perspective, total different understanding. So the moment that you see the augmentation, something is switching and you see the artwork with other eyes, or you sometimes also build up an emotion about it. You like it, you don't like it, you understand it, you want to learn more, you want to go behind it. So you have these feelings that are going a little bit more, are easier to activate using an animation than without. So I think using these two layers, the technology, and I think this is the most important thing that we're doing at Artivive, it's just getting to be the vehicle, the means for transporting the story and the narrative. So instead of putting the technology first, people are diving into the artwork, into the story, and not really caring about how the technology works, how good the recognition is, the frame rates, the video quality, because it's the story. And I think in some cases, bringing arts with technology together, the technology somehow becomes or receives the front row. So people are doing different things because of technology and also consuming because of the technology. But I think it gets mature the moment that it's developing on people looking at the story. A good example for this would be maybe comparing 3D TVs and 3D movies. At the beginning, also with Avatar, it was like, wow, it's amazing. And you can much better feel the movie and be in the scenes. And people loved it. It was, and it still is, a great movie, and breaking some barriers. But after you did it once or twice, it gets into the bag. So also when you are at the cinema and watching a 3D movie, after 10, 15 minutes, you just forget that it's a 3D movie because you're more concerned and you're following more the story, the characters, the emotions. So the technology isn't as important as the narrative. And that's what I'm trying here to tell and emphasize. Okay, are there, I will just always make some short breaks. Also, it's easier for me, and just to see if there are any questions, or you just want to add something from your own experience or some thoughts that you had.
Something you mentioned was haptics.
Yes.
Is that incorporated into the app so we could set like vibrations at different times?
Not yet. What I meant with the haptics is to have the different materials on the first part of the artwork, the real part, where you can also work with the different materials. And if you have, let's say, a mural and you have the wall, or you have something that's glossy, or you have the picture, so or some textiles that can also be augmented. So something that is not living or not non-digital in any way can be brought very easily into digital space with augmented reality. So I was referring more to that. But I think it's a great idea to also incorporate the vibration and using these features of the phone as another layer. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thank you. I just wanted a clarification.
Okay, great. If there are no other questions, I will just go then to showing you a little bit what Artivive is and explaining the two parts that we engaged today, or downloaded first the app and then registered for the account. So first we have the account, the creator tool, where you can...
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there's a question in the chat asking
Sure.
if we can add textures to the projection, I think.
Sure. So
you want to look at the chat, there's a question.
Yes, thank you very much. For now, the assets that we're working with are assets that are extremely easy to create and consume. We allow for now just videos and images. Videos where you can also set transparency with the green key. We'll have a look then afterwards. But you can also place these images in a 3D space. And yes, the images or the videos or the animations or whatever you have can be textures, or depending on how you're building, can be then textures. The reason why we are using only videos and images is because also at the first prototype that we had with Artivive, where we also had 3D elements, we saw that some or almost all visitors and focus group that we had a hard time understanding how the 3D model was and how they can interact with it. And they tried it and they said or felt that it's something interesting, but at the end, they didn't have a good feeling about the experience that they had. Because this projection, the augmented reality extension, is already something new for many. And adding this interactive layer and 3D objects that they're not used to makes it a little bit more difficult to consume and to understand the story behind it. That's why we decided to use assets that are extremely easy to create also from an artist side, because we have a lot of different artists who are non-digital at all, but they already can create something with a smartphone, filming the time using time-lapse, stop motion, or other easy to create assets, and upload these to Bridge, to our system, and connect it to their artworks. So for example, we have artists that are over 80 and use the computer for emails and for Artivive, and they really manage it extremely easy. And I think this is also a very important part to enable people who are maybe not at home in the digital space to use this space and to use it for their own artworks and see what's coming out. And we were surprised how creative they are, because they don't have they're not in the same box that we are, so it's much easier for them to think outside the box when they've never been in the box. So yeah, this is just a big bracket to explain how why we decided to use only images and videos. So what you see here is first this creational tool that we'll have a look today in the live demo, where you can connect the artwork which is in the real space with the digital layer. And what you see at the end is what the viewer will see through the app. So we have these two parts, the creative tool, which we call Bridge, and the app for the viewer who's going to the exhibition, museum, festival, gallery. Let me tell you a little bit about Artivive. So we're now a little bit more than 72,000 artists. We are working with 15 currently active with projects, 15 museums around the world. We are part of the curriculum in 45 universities. Our artists are coming from 120 countries. They organized more than 650 exhibitions. We're counting around 120,000 artworks, and we have more than 2 million app users. You can see here a screenshot from our Instagram account, feel free to follow it. It's a place where we feature a lot of artists, but you will also find in our app an art feed from different projects around the world. Okay, so this is the introduction part. We'll have now a small part where we're looking at different projects that we have done or artworks. We're starting with three examples from a museum to show how a story can be built. So these are artworks. They are already in the museum by artists who died a long time ago, but we use this technology to give a different perspective to the artwork. So at the beginning, when you're looking at the artwork, everybody is looking at the composition, the colors, and then we try to understand different parts. And this is a very famous artwork where you maybe already know the story, but if you're looking through the Artivive app, you will see how the narrator is explaining all the composition and how this painting is done. So just try to start the app and use it on your screen. At the end, I will also give you a link where you can download all these assets of the presentation, as well as a lot of other artworks, this included, that you can try out on the screen, or you can, the best would be to print it out and try it this way. Okay, so I hope that the most had already the opportunity to try it out and see how it works. And I think what here it's shown best is that with an extremely easy method to just highlight different elements and having the story, it's extremely easy to follow and understand how the painting is composed and what's so special about it and the way that it was painted. And this is, I would say, the easiest way how technology can be used to transport this information and let people understand what's all about without knowing anything about the artist, the time, or the painting itself. Now we're going to two other examples, also from artists that are not alive anymore. Both are from a museum here in Vienna. One is on the left with the rabbit from Dürer. The interesting part of Dürer was that he was the first Renaissance painter who had the painting so much in detail. So he tried to reflect the nature like photography before there were photographs. So he tried to build it and have so much detail as possible. The story says that also in the eye of the rabbit, you can see the reflection of his own studio, which building on this story, it's much easier to tell how detailed he worked and how much detail he put into the artworks. So building this story, then you understand much better how the artist worked, as well as how to look at the painting and which are the details that you should follow. So like I said, it's again getting much easier the information across. So when people who maybe do not know anything about Dürer are looking at this painting, and without augmented reality, in some seconds they get all the information that they know they need to understand the painting that they're looking at. And on the right side, we have a painting from Delvaux. And here it's a story about two worlds that are disconnected: the worlds of the dead and the world of the dead and the world of the living. And you can also see that the lines are cut. But when you're looking at the painting, which is really a huge painting, you just look at the composition and you miss the details in the back. But the moment that you see that they start moving, your focus goes there, and then you try and understand what's happening. And with the audio telling you the story behind it, you already have all the information that you need to understand the painting. So we got a question from Jennifer. How are you using wayfinding to identify this interactive piece in the museum, and what is the feedback you have gotten from these experiences? So when we're working with the museum together, so obviously it has to be in our database. The app recognizes the artwork through image recognition. And when we are working on a project with the museum, we already know where the visitors will go through. So the most important part is where they're buying the ticket, or at the entrance, where we can inform them about the app. Most of the times we do either on the back of the ticket saying, have also the augmented reality experience, or we have a screen showing how it looks like, inviting people to install the app through a QR code. Then during the walk or in the exhibition, we have developed an icon, which is the same all over the world. And it shows that this art piece is extended with Artivive. And we also have a short description in each room saying, if you want to explore the artworks in the extended layer, please download the app and look for this icon. So contrary to the marketing projects that we have done, we know where the people are, and somebody who's going to an exhibition or to a museum, they're going to experience something new. And this is exactly what we're offering. And to the feedback that we got, we were so surprised to see that people who already know the museum and who already know the paintings found it very interesting to interact in this way. People who are coming for the first time, they're greeting it because it's much easier, and it's much it's much easier to get into the exhibition and understand what they're looking at. So it's not so, at least in Europe, many museums are very pretentious and expect the visitor to have knowledge, a baggage of knowledge to understand the paintings that they're looking at, or to read a lot, or take the flyer and get information, or have the text on the wall. Or something that you will find in most museums are the audio guides, which unfortunately didn't develop further. They were invented in 1950, and it's still the same way, still the same content. So the first minute is informing you which material was used when the painting was painted, when the artist was born and he died, information that you cannot process or take with you. And the moment that you get to the details about the painting, you have to look in the painting and find it. And therefore it's like 6 to 7 minutes for a painting, and after 5, 6, you're done for the day. So it's the maximum amount of information that you can take. Otherwise, with Artivive and with augmented reality, not only with Artivive, but with augmented reality, using it directly on the painting, it's much easier to highlight these things, and you can use it in seconds, as you have seen, where you can transport this information and content. And also it's much easier for everybody who's going to the museum, because they already have the hardware in their pockets. And what we also saw is that many people in winter, they leave everything at the entrance or at the boxes, and the only thing that is coming with them in the museum is the mobile phone. But unfortunately, they cannot use it in the museum because they're not extended, most museums, and that's what we want to change, is that if people are already coming with hardware, let's give them the opportunity to interact with the artworks and have a much easier entrance and connection with it. So to the feedback was, on one side, everybody who we talked to, because we had surveys after they left the museum, I would say more than 90% remembered all artworks with augmented reality, because they're small stories that they can take with them. And it's something that they can understand and relate. And they're also extremely happy that they had this experience, because they then can much better understand the artwork that they're looking at. At the beginning, we had some discussions with the museums, and you can imagine people who are doing the same things for many years, tens of years, are hard to convince that it's about time to also change or move forward and embrace technology in their institutions. And they were a little bit afraid of, yes, but art is still something that you should enjoy without the phone, and you're coming to the museum and you're still looking at the screen. So these were the common answers that we got. And our learnings were that people are looking much more in detail, because after they got the information, the phone goes away, and then they're looking to see the painting, the strokes, the details, and they have a totally different relationship with the painting. It's not the composition, it's not the colors, it's not the feeling that they have without the information, but it's building up a relationship. And therefore, it's much easier for them to relate and to make it the museum, going to the museum, making an experience out of it. So I think what is also changing is like this image that if you go to a museum to learn things, it's getting through augmented reality into more into an experience and more enjoyable. And some of the people that went to the exhibition said that they are usually not going, but using technology makes it much more approachable, and that's why they decided to come and have a look at the exhibition through augmented reality, which they find it's much nearer to today and the way we're living. So who's doing the illustrations and the animations? So in the case where we have a project like this with a museum or museums for artworks that the artist cannot defend anymore to be brought in augmented reality, we are connecting first with the museum. Some museums, they have their own graphic department that they can do the animations by themselves. Or if they don't, we connect them with our community because we want for each museum and institution to work with local artists, animators to create the content, because this is like closing again the role of the museum to connect with local communities and also be giving the opportunity for artists to be displayed in a way or the other in the museum, and also for people who are coming knowing that these extensions were made by somebody from their communities, a totally different experience in that way. I hope that I answered the questions. And I will move then to two artworks that were made by our community. On the left, you will find one from the poster exhibition that we had, where I had two examples at the beginning, and the second one is one which is using only 2D assets to build a 3D space and somehow bring this artwork to life. Okay, so on the left is a poster, which is empathizing what it is written. So it's just a play of the typography, and therefore, which is very important for posters in general, but seeing how it can go into the next level and using the 3D space around it and using the motion, it becomes an artwork for itself. And on the right side, with the 3D effect and also with girl in the middle, you have somehow a different feeling about the artwork, and it somehow brings you down the rabbit hole, maybe from Alice in Wonderland. And therefore it's living for itself. And you have to imagine, I'm so sorry that you have to have this experience through the screen, but if you have the artwork live, or you have a postcard of it and seeing this postcard coming to life, it's an amazing experience. If there are no questions, I will then start with the live demo. Where we'll create a project. I prepared some things, but I tried to somehow create it as easy as possible. It's just one of, I would say, hundreds of millions of possibilities what you can do. On the right one, I only see a big black square. That's not good. Andrea, are you using an Android phone?
Hi, I'm using my Android. I don't know why the right one, I only see a big black board. In the left one, I see the effect, but in the right one, I don't see it. I don't know why.
It's weird. Sometimes with some Android phones, we have a problem. Our problem is that we cannot test on all phones. But what we could do is maybe try to scan the first one and then close the app and then scan the right one again.
Oh, okay, I got it. Now it works. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, sometimes. But whenever you find a bug like this, please help us and go to our website. We have here under support, report an issue or a bug, and it takes like 5 minutes, fill it out, or 5 minutes, 2 minutes. We're just asking which phone you have and what happened. And then you can upload a screenshot, and that will help us a lot to have a track of the bugs and also solve them.
Do you find that the bugs with the Android phone might be the positioning? Because I had the same problem, but when I flipped it to horizontal instead of vertical, it went away.
Okay, yeah, maybe it could be with Android. Like I said, it's there are so many different brands, and some are updating their system, some do not. So it's very hard to track what's going wrong there. But maybe it could be something with the positioning and also using the 3D space. But if you ever have this again, please use this form. That will help us a ton. Were there anybody else having any problems, difficulties with the artworks? The museums, galleries, every user architecture features to use around. So we did with a museum called the Selfie Wall. I hope that I can find it. This is like our Instagram account, and we are featuring here different projects also from our community, and you'll see how many different ways there are to interact with the digital space. So this is also a mural, so that an artist used to augment and bring in into the digital space. So these are things that museum can also work with. Let me just see if I find selfie wall. We always need something that for the app to recognize. And if it's inside, it's much easier. Obviously also to use architectural part, because a big problem for us is when lights, shadow and reflection are changing during the day because of the sun. Because then for the phone is like a different image. But we can also use architectural parts for the phone to recognize. The best way is always to test it. You'll see how easy it is to just upload an image and then video, and then you can test to see how it works, and you can also easily iterate on that. If we are cool images on your feed are targets, which feed? On Instagram, you mean? Yes. So we are, how should I put it? We are more trying to bring the digital world into the real world. So we are not very big fans of scanning a screen with another screen. Because also going to an exhibition, to a museum, is the time that you're putting in, the time that you're taking half a day off to go to the museum and travel there is the value that you're offering to the artworks that you're looking, and therefore also to the digital space. We also saw for many of our artists in the community that they find Artivive so cool that they're not trapped anymore on Instagram, because they are somehow on the same feeds with other artists as well as prominent people, and it's an endless feed. And because you always know that something else is coming and it might be better, the attention span is very short. And also with TikTok now it's shorter and shorter. But if you're taking the time and you're going to the museum and the light is great and the air is great and you have the time to explore the art, then the digital layer will also get another value that you are directly connected to the effort that you put in. So we are now with COVID and also for the workshop, it's great to use the screen to have these experiences, but it's nothing compared to have this experience also with the artworks that I showed you in the museum, to see the original artwork in front of you coming to life and then also being able to inspect that. So we use more recordings of different artworks. You can also record through the app. We'll have a look at this afterwards. To use it as a trailer. And the moment that you're going to this place and you can scan it, it's coming to life. It's very rewarding for everybody involved, for you as a viewer, for the artist, because you did that. And yeah, also for us, because you use our app and our platform to do so. Okay. Then I will start with the creational process. Do you want to add anything to this, or does it make sense for you, Charlotte? Cool. Okay, so you can log in through Bridge at bridge.artivive.com. You don't have to do it now because we'll do it afterwards. That will be the main workshop part where I will not talk so much, but you can do yourself projects and they will be here to help you if you have any questions. So I will log in here. with my account, email address, and password that I have set. And this is the interface when I don't have any projects. You have here the artworks that you can use. We are a freemium tool. That means that you have 3 artworks to use for free for whatever you want. You can get up to 6 artworks if you invite other friends and other artists to use the platform. And then afterwards, you can either go through a subscription or through a payment. The reason that we are doing this is because we don't want to follow into the footstep of the big platforms and let us earn our money through marketing and ads. So you as an artist are becoming our product, but our product is a tool. And if you already have 6 artworks and you need more, it means that it's also offering you a value. So therefore, you can choose for a subscription or for a one-time payment to add more artworks to your account. If you have a student account, it will be with 5 free projects for you. As part of the workshop, at the end, I will also share with you my email address. And if you need more than the artworks that you have and you're thinking about a subscription or buyouts, let me know and I will send you a discount coupon code. I will actually write my email address right here. Just write me that you were part of the Gray Area workshop, and then I will just send you a coupon code. Okay, so let's get used with the interface. On the top, you will find the menu bar that will always be here. You can set up your profile, which it's great because you can also use it then afterwards with your artworks. So I will just put our webpage here, my artist webpage, our Instagram account. There we go. Twitter, Facebook. And this is just for people then afterwards, if they want to connect with you, if they're looking at an artwork that you created, to be able to follow you on this social media or also to get in touch with you. And I can also select the picture here. Okay, so that's it with my profile. Took only some seconds, and then it will be much easier to use it to connect it to the artworks that I will create. Here you have the privacy settings that you can change or have a look at, and you can also delete the account, which usually takes up to 48 hours, but then everything that you have put on Artivive will be deleted forever. Going back to the main screen, you also have frequent asked questions here and the tutorial. We'll also have a look at the tutorial playlist where we have tutorials made by our community, around 25, on different topics. So you can search inspiration there as well. You can add also artworks to the plus here, or you can use for the first this big button, as well as adding folders. Folder 1, where you can put your artworks in, or you can also add an artwork here, and you can use the search afterwards to search for your artworks. Okay, so what I prepared, I will just create now an artwork. I'm in the folder, I can create it here. I have to give it a name, French guy. You'll see who my French guy is. I can also add it to the folder 1 or to a new folder. I already have the artwork info here filled out with my credentials. My name is Sergio, and the artwork name is, you can also change it here, so it doesn't have to have the name of the artwork. So for the display. We'll have a look at them afterwards. The workshop. Okay, so on the left, I will have to upload an image, and on the right, I will upload a video. For the image, I have this guy, which is a French painting, who's pointing to something outside. I also have the image here. And you will see that uploading the image, afterwards we will get some points, seeing, or stars, seeing how good the app will recognize this image, and we can also make it a little bit better. And for the animation, what I did, a very short overview is I took him apart in Photoshop. I changed somehow the background with something, I think it's Dubai, I don't know. So it's another background. I edited the frame, so we have the same frame. Then I added some shadow for him, his body, his head, and his arm. The arm has 2 parts, so I can animate it afterwards. And what I did was with a tool called Animatron, which is a key-based animation tool, where you can just put these assets together and then move it from one point to the other. So we have here the keyframes that I set, and you can see here how I just dragged and dropped and set the keyframes. So it's in the animation inside. Let's have a look. You might see that also his head is moving and his lips. This is something that I did with an app which I had a lot of fun with, called Mug Live, where you can just upload an face, an image, and you could use some presets or animate it automatically, and it's amazing how good it works. This took me not more than 2 minutes. Okay, so I prepared. If you want, we can go in more detail how I created these assets and how I created the animation. I just wanted... Sorry?
Yeah, if I...
I'm not sure that we can hear you, or maybe it's just me.
Yes, I'm sorry for interrupting.
No worries.
But I was wondering, you said that you did it in 2 minutes?
Yeah, so the Mug Live thing I did in 2 minutes. I can show you.
In the
I
Mug
just
Live.
put a link to it in the chat. I've used it before. It's
You
easy.
also know it.
Oh, okay.
So this is the app, and it's loading. And you can just take an image, my mugs.
It's like part of the whole deep fake stuff, and it's
Exactly.
really scary.
It is a little bit. It is indeed. So I'll just take here an image. I will see if I find something with myself. So I just uploaded an image that I had a selfie made by me, of me. And you can see here that I just clicked one of the presets here down there, and it automatically created it. I can show you the picture actually before, how it looked like. Just have to find it here. So that's me taking a selfie. This is the image that is not moving. And then I just upload it to the Mug Live. And I can choose the presets from here. you can see. And then it will change my face. And yeah, thank you, Nikki, for sharing the link.
Can I make another question? Sorry for interrupting so much.
Yeah, sure. No, you're not interrupting at all.
The map of the link that you sent us is for only make GIFs, or you can make videos also, long videos?
I think it's just for short videos where you just use for the face, and it's just the part. So you're just using it for the animating a face, which is an easy tool if you somehow, like me, want to bring this guy to life, and you want him to say something. It's the easiest way instead of reading everything and building it up in another program. Like I said, it took some minutes, and then it's something that I just did for fun. Okay, so I have this video. I already exported it. I, for some reason, called it money. Here we go. And he's showing something. And then I will just upload this video to my project. So I have the free version of Animatron. That's why I also have the logo and the weird format. But now I'll just add. It says, hey, Sergio, somehow the video that you uploaded has a different aspect ratio than the image. So that's why it will look weird. Do you want us to cut it in the middle, to crop it or not? I will say upload it as it is because we'll edit it afterwards, but you can choose to crop it and then it will fit perfectly the artwork, which gives a much better integration. Now it's processing. So that means that it's uploading the video and the image to our server. We'll find the different parts in the image. So what we're doing is converting the image in a kind of QR code. It's not a QR code, but it looks for us, for the computer, like a QR code. We're looking for dots where there is a lot of contrast and lines coming together. And then we are trying to find this pattern in the camera. And the moment that we recognize a pattern that we already have on our server, we know, okay, this is the artwork, this is the content that we have to show over the artwork. That's why it's very important to, first of all, have a lot of contrast and details in the image. So it's easier for the app to recognize. So if you have a picture of a blue sky without any clouds, that will not work. The moment that there are some clouds and maybe some birds, it will work much better. Also, blurry images are not working. So if you have something that is very blurry, that will not find any lines or contrasts to create the recognition or to find the dots to recognize it. And also patterns. If you have patterns that are very repetitive, so let's say that you have a checkered something, then it will not recognize it. You will have to change it a little bit. And another thing that we learned, if you have, let's say, a series of artworks and all these artworks have, for example, your logo or something that is the same in every artwork, it could confuse our system and say, this is a duplicate. That's why it's just once active. And a very easy workaround for this is to just eliminate the part that is repetitive in the image that you upload. So the app is not searching for that, and then it should work without the problems. But for these cases, we have also an FAQ with some examples on our webpage. Under support, you can go to FAQs, and you have here duplicate, and we have here explaining the two reasons. One, that somebody already uploaded. In this case, just one would work, just one artwork. In case of the Mona Lisa, we have it, I think, like 20 times. So just the first one will work. If you feel that it's your artwork and you're entitled, please feel free to also use the chat here. And we have agents, and or you can just send us an email and we'll have a look at it. So this is 24/7 online. So if you have any questions or something is not working, just get into the chat and we'll help you out. And this is the example where you can see here the logo is the same, and also the writing here. So what we did is we uploaded just the background, the images which are not repetitive, and this worked. You had here like 5 stars. But it's very important always when you change something to first print it out and see if it's working in the final version before you go into production or into the exhibition, the final exhibition. What you can see here, I just saw we have a question. What about art that uses light? What do you mean with artwork that uses like lit billboard or?
Like neon, like photographing light physically, how it's incorporated into work. Like if you guys are using recognition that uses like tones, is that going to be affected by time of day it's looked at?
So if the shadows are not changing too much, the color itself, it's not really important because we are changing all or converting all images to black and white. And we use only the black and white images for the recognition. This is because it's making all the whole system much faster and also sending the data from the phone to the server much easier. Also, if you see that something is not working for the neon, I would try to upload the black and white picture so that you're sure that it will work.
Okay.
But you have to test it because it could be that depending on the phone, maybe some phones with not so good cameras, they're overexposing or underexposing so that everything around the neon will be dark.
Well, also, I'm just worried about time of day since the contrast won't be as dramatic during the daytime versus nighttime, right? If your piece is outdoors.
It's outdoors. So you could also upload a day picture and a night picture and activate both. So you'll have in your account that it's a duplicate, but you can activate it. And then it will recognize one or the other.
Cool.
I just had a quick question. I wasn't clear. I know you use Mug Life for the face, but for the other animation, was that built into Artivive or was that some other online software you used?
So we're with Artivive, we are just connecting the assets to the image. And we can also use to place in the 3D space. We'll have a look at that as well. Because we decided that it doesn't really make sense for us to build these tools also inside for right now, because there are so many tools out there that can do exactly this. And maybe you want to use After Effects and somebody's using Blender, and the third one would use DaVinci Code because they already know how to use it. And then we make our system obsolete, but we put a lot of effort and time.
Yeah. I was just for the I remember you showing the beginning saying people got confused, but just in terms of the process
this one
you showed, I was just trying to put everything into the chat so people can know animatron. I'll just put a link to it for everyone in case they're curious.
Exactly. So what you can also do, and thank you very much for this question, is going to artivive.com/material. Artivive.com/material. Then you'll have here everything that I used. Actually, I can use also. I have to get used to use the chat. Here we go. And here you'll also find a manual which has everything that we are talking about. Also a quick overview of the user interface and the quick links. So also support page, and here is from the workshop. You can find here Aminatron or the Mug Life and some other tools that I will mention down the workshop. And you can also find here the project. So with the guy, with Vestier, and with the elements and the video, so you can play with it as well. And also when we're going into the workshop part where you're doing your own artwork, you can use some videos from here. They're free of copyright, and then you can just use them as animations to have a quick win for the project that we're working afterwards. So great question about the links. So what we see here is that the recognition speed is not so good. We only have 2 stars, which is still working, but you will have to make sure that it's good lit and people can go closer to the artwork when they scan it, and it's not behind the glass, because it's not so easy to recognize it for the app, because it lacks a little bit on contrast. What I can do here with Photoshop is to just open the image. And now it's loading. And then I can just add a little bit of the contrast and through the levels, or I can just add contrast from here. So the adjustments, brightness and contrast, a little bit of brightness, and I can save it. And I will change the image here. And then it will process again. You can see here also 2 buttons that are active now, where you can delete the artwork, which will delete the artwork, or you can download the image, which is very handy if you're misplacing the image or you just want to have quick print and then try it out to see how it works. And I call the guy French guy because he's from a French collection. The museums of Paris, the Paris Musée, have given 150,000 artworks for free, for copyright free, for artists to use or people to use, also in a very high quality. And what we did is inviting our community to animate, and we received around 350 submissions, and we had a curator who chosen 12, and we had an exhibition here in Vienna, and we filmed it, and we want to reach out to the museums to show them what's possible, so also to animate them to use this technology. Okay, so you see now I have 5 stars. That means it's also working when the light is not so good or when it's behind the glass. What I will ask you now is also to scan it with the app. From my screen. You can see here that the number is increasing. It's the views. It's like how you scan it. You can also have direct statistic to see how many people scanned it. You can also have detailed statistics which are uploaded once an hour. You can see how many views you had, how many minutes we watched, iOS and Android users last week, daily average, and so on. I will just leave it here so you can also scan it. And you'll see here now, first the video is not matching anything and it has like this weird green screen. So we'll work on that as well now. Okay, I will just click edit again. Oh yeah, sorry, the other buttons. So I have a button here for editing. I can also add languages. So the app is recognizing automatically which language is set. So if you have a video for Spanish, for Japanese, for German, and one for English, you will set English for all. And for the specific languages, you will upload the other files, and then it will automatically play the right file. If it's set for German, for example, it will play automatically if somebody has the phone set on German. You can also play here to see the content and the statistics and deleting the artwork. So we're back to this view, and we have some things here that we can set up. We can use the first frame if it's, for example, we already have an animation and you want to use the first frame as the starting image to print out. Or you can also choose a color for the transparency. So in this case is my green, also works with other colors. You can also try if you have a background to eliminate it. You can also play here with the threshold. Threshold is for example, if you film something or you have some material which doesn't have all over the same color, you can decide how much of the spectrum of the color it should be removed. And in the end, you can also choose no fading, because at the beginning, the image will fade a little bit over the artwork, or you can just appear. It's depending on what you want to use. We also have here at the top a button for headphones. If you click this, it will play the audio only over the headphones, which is very helpful if you're in exhibition mode and you don't want 5 people at the same time who are looking at the same artwork to have the sound heard in the whole room. You can just click it and then the sound will play only over the headphones, and you'll also have a small pop-up saying plug in your headphones to have the best experience. I will change it again, and then we'll see how it's working. Sometimes, so every time you're changing, we are clearing the cache in the phones. But sometimes if you're working on something, it's so deep in the cache that it might be that it doesn't work. To be sure that you load it again, what you can do is to just scan another artwork in between, and then it will load the content again. So you can scan it again. And if you still see the green, background, then try to scan the right lady and then the artwork again. I'm going through the questions. So Christina, the app is recognizing just one image at a time, but if you have 2 images, you can, depending on the concept, you can also upload both separately and once together, and then you can have the different activations. But for when an image is recognized, it will just follow that image. So you have to take the phone away to scan another one. ABS, it's because maybe it's too dark in the room that you are and it's constantly searching for an image to scan, and that's why it tells you should maybe start the flash in order for the app to recognize it. And there is no additional workaround when the app is having when it's too dark. The workaround is to buy a more expensive phone. because they have better cameras. But when it's too dark, unfortunately, there is not much that we can do. Chrome. So Camille, the best browser for Bridge is Chrome, but it's also working on Firefox. It's not working on Internet Explorer and Edge. Safari is also great.
I'm having issues using it in Safari. Like it flipped my photo when I uploaded it, and then when I tried to check one of the boxes for the video option, it wouldn't let me.
So
like
that means that you uploaded something from iPhone. So when you're uploading a video that you recorded with iPhone, it has to first save it in order to be able to click the things for the video. So when
uploading, I'm uploading from a file server.
Okay. Then maybe what you could do is try to download it on the desktop and try to upload it locally.
Okay.
But it could be, so we learned that there are some problems with iPhone, the new MOV files. They don't have a preview at the beginning, so you cannot check the things. But the moment that you're uploading it, you're converting it so that you're free to do, the features are active again. So I encourage you, if you don't have this, just click on save, and then afterwards you can edit and edit. And with the pictures, the problem is also from the iPhone. They just did an update. For some reason, they save it, not the information where it says if it's portrait or landscape, it's not saved in a way that we can read it. But now with the update from the iPhone, it should work again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we'll go to the next step, and that's 3D Pro mode. And here I just clicked, so it was basic. You can see here my mouse on the screen. It was basic, and I clicked on the top on the right for 3D Pro mode. So you should all have it. If you don't see the button, just make your browser a little bit bigger than it should appear. And now I have the main image to recognize here as an anchor, as a trigger in the middle, so I have a better feeling of the assets that I'm uploading. And I'm selecting the video that I already have, and I will scale it. I can scale it either with this colorful lines here, or I can just scale it with numbers. I will try 4 and 4. And I can see here that he is too small, 4.5, 4.5. And I can position him so it's where he should be, right? So I have him here, and I can add in this mode another 3 videos, 2 videos, so it's 3 in total, and 6 images. And I'm adding now an image. The image is already transparent because it's a PNG. So what I will do is going here to the workshop. And take the frame first, which is already transparent. So you cannot put transparency on images because it's much easier to upload PNGs that are already transparent. I also have to change the size of this, so it's matching, maybe a bit smaller. I can also select it by clicking the layer, but I can also select it from here on the right, like in Photoshop. So I have here the video and the frame, and I will add the great background that I showed you. Select file. The background is here. And I will also scale it not SD, but this one. And I will just put it behind him, so it's on the image. Great. I can also play here, so I can see how it looks like, also when I have more assets. And the good part is here I can also play live with the threshold. So I hope I didn't promise too much. Now he thinks from a bit more should disappear, but this seems it's not working. Maybe I like spend the time opening it. Okay, so the 3D Pro mode is the idea that you have the same connection to your digital assets, but in a 3D space, so you can see how you can arrange it and put it around the artwork. I will just hit change, and then it will upload everything to the server, and then we can scan it again. And then afterwards, I will propose that we go through some questions and make a short break of 10-15 minutes. I will just put this back so you can scan meanwhile if the image didn't upload in your cache, updated in your cache. Here we go. Does it work for everybody? Okay. Did anybody or everybody had the opportunity to scan and look how it looks in the 3D space? Are there any questions before the break? Charlotte will go afterwards. So I will, for example, what I will do after the break, I will use something that I already have here on my desk. It's a box from a game, and I will try to bring this to life. So we'll not have any artworks that we'll put up in an exhibition at the end of the workshop. The idea is just that you get familiar with the use of interface. And maybe you can just look around the house and you find an artwork, or maybe you find something, a book also, or a postcard, or whatever you find around the desk, and you can use that. And I will animate or use this fellow here, Milhouse. He will be my actor and will appear in my augmented reality artwork. So just things that are around the house. Don't overthink it.
Sergio, I have a question. Sorry, I'm asking too much questions. Sorry about
You're not at all.
I'm inactive. I just posted my artwork, but I got 4 stars. Is that
That's
enough?
good. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was thinking that I had to get 5 stars.
No, it's like just that you have a feeling how good it is. If it's not working with Artivive, it will say, and I can do that to show you what will say if it's not working. We cannot recognize it. I will just blur this image so it will not find any lines. It will take extremely long, and then it will say this artwork is not suitable or will not work with Artivive.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Let me just show it to you. Come on, computer. Come on. So also 1 star is working, but for 1 star, you just really have to be sure that people are getting closer to the artwork, and it's good lead. So now it will take almost a minute to process. And then I will have here a message saying that it's not working. Okay, then I would propose that we're taking 15 minutes break. So 5 before, what's the time? 12? Is it? No, 1. What's the time in California now?
It's 12:41.
Yes, so 12:55. Perfect. Okay, then see you in 15 minutes and try to find something that we can use to augment together. Where is it? Hi. I'm back. So before we go to the next slides and to the project that we'll create, I want you to show two features of the app. But maybe we should wait until the others are coming back. Everybody who's missing should raise the hand. But maybe everybody who's here should raise a hand and see if, great. Cool.
Yeah, it's so weird to like not see people or see them and teach on Zoom. And I can't really see them because I am live streaming, so I have to only keep you and the presentation in the view. So I don't even know if people have their cameras on. I'm just flying blind. But I am monitoring the chat.
Thank you very much for that.
Ask questions. I'll try to, if I, help with that part.
Perfect. I will just share again the link where you find all the materials and also the videos. So we have that handy. And now what I would ask you to do is maybe to use again the app, either on the lady here or on the French guy. You can see here the blurry image has no stars, so it will not be recognized, and you can click Y, and then you get a short explanation on what we are searching, and you can see here the yellow dots means the points that our app finds. So we need more details, or the app needs more details, and then it will work better. So when you're scanning the image, you will find two different things. So when it's working, you will see that you have a small I button, and also you have the pop-up with plug in your earphones. But if you click on the I button or on the artwork, you'll get the data that I put in. So you'll get this information that I put in at the artwork info. So you can follow then on the links or read the details that I wrote about the artwork. So this is one. And the second is a bigger circle that you can click, and then it will record 8 seconds of what you're seeing on the screen. And you can save this video on your phone, or you can share it on social media. And it's limited to 8 seconds for the same reason that we don't want everything to be then on the internet, but be more like a trailer. And you can also see here is a button called to add to Artivive, and this will add it to our feed, which you can access with the eye here at the top. And you can see here different projects from all over the world. The feed is curated, so if you edit it now, it will appear tomorrow or the day after. Okay. I hope that everybody had the chance to try it out. And then I will go just on the last slides that I have, and then we'll start the fun part.
I have a question with the art, like your archive. Does it geotag in case like an artist was to do a mural, or no?
Not yet, but it's a feature that we're working on, that we also have a map. So imagine that you're going to SF MoMA and we have a project there, and then afterwards you have a map with all the artists in San Francisco and the Bay Area using Artivive, not only murals, but also artists who maybe want to show their own studios.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Welcome. So it's a feature that I hope that will come later this year, maybe beginning of next year.
Maybe next year at the festival we could put it.
Yeah, that would be
do a
great.
little walking tour.
Yeah, we have already. So we learned about so many walking tours using Artivive and looking at murals. So one is in Tel Aviv, because you know, it's the city for street art. It's amazing how many very cool street artists are working there and having different murals around the city. But most of the graffitis are political, so therefore they're disappearing overnight. And we have a collective of artists who are putting them back through Artivive. So when they're overpainted, they will put it back how it was. So they're doing the tours, showing the artworks.
That's so cool. Like throughout time as they keep getting overwritten.
Yes.
The same thing
exactly.
here. Even in Gray Area, in our walls, our murals are constantly getting updated or changed, and so it'd be cool to have that kind of record.
Yeah, exactly. And there is also a very cool mural from Nitros. I don't know if you know it, Nikki, but it's in Auckland, Martin Luther King with 15th Street. There is a shop, an art supply shop called Flex. And in the parking lot, they have like this T-Rex. I'm just searching for it. And that's activated with Artivive. I think I showed it to you at some point. But where is it? I'm always losing it. So it's also somewhere on our Instagram feed. So if you have the time, check it out. You will be amazed.
I want to go over there.
I think it's also BART station. It's like 5 minutes away, downtown Auckland.
Not that anyone's taking BART right now, but I bought a car. Well, I'll go check it out.
Is the BART still going, or?
Yeah, I think it is for essential workers, but it's still just sort of like, hey, is it safe? You know, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, BART is still running on a limited capacity, so it's running like 30 minutes versus every 15 minutes.
Okay, got it.
So that's question there, sir.
Yes.
About chroma videos.
Yes, so we use commas instead of points. Chroma, sorry, I'm ready. So we have also, if you put it with the numbers, with the digit, instead of 0.1, it will be 0.1, but we only use chroma, yes, the color. And you can also upload the PNG sequence. So if you want to have a very exact transparency, you can have a PNG sequence and upload that. Okay, so I will go through the last slides, and then I will be here. We'll make a project with things that you have around the house. They will be here, should be any questions. And exactly, this is the mural, Nikki. Can you see it?
I remember seeing it. It's so cool. I want to go do it when I go over there. I think I'm gonna move to Oakland, so I'm gonna be driving around, so I'll just stop and go check it out when I'm there.
Cool. Yeah, let me know how you find it. Okay, so this is the live demo. We already had it. And now I will show you some ideas that we can use for today. So one is having a time lapse. We have a lot of artists who are using time lapse of the artworks that they're creating. And it's the easiest way to just let the artwork speak for itself, to see how the first brush stroke was made, how the colors changes, how the structure, how the artist maybe changed mind in the middle of the painting, how things were overpainted. And then only this can connect with the viewer so good and let him know how it became what it is. And I think it's extremely easy to integrate because you just have to have a camera or a phone with a time lapse, and then you just have to upload that and you're done. The second possibility is to use doodling. So there are also a lot of great apps for smartphone or for tablets to just do frame by frame painting, doodles, and that's also an easy win. Stop motion is my favorite. Because you can be very creative and do different tests and see how you can use this to integrate it in your artworks. Yes, and now I would like to go very short through some points that I would like to summarize, which is very important, and I hope that I was able to somehow highlight it during the workshop. Content storytelling is the most important. The technology is just means to transport the story that we want to tell. Search for inspiration. I think our channels, also YouTube and Instagram, are a great source, but not only. I think inspiration can be everything around us, and just try it out. Try to bring digital content to things that are not digital. And I think we found out a way how you can see if the integration that you want to do is the right one for augmented reality, because it's very important also for people who are using the app. So we hope that people already have the app installed, but let's say that they're installing the app and looking at an artwork or a mural, and then are they satisfied with what they saw, or would the QR code have the same effect? If a QR code would have the same effect, use a QR code. Because then it's much easier also for you and also for the viewer, and it's straight on. If not, then it's a perfect augmented reality artwork. Length, we saw that through the projects that we have done also with museums, that the attention span is around 30 to 45 seconds. Obviously, it's also how you're building the narrative. It could be longer, but after this time, eventually people are tending to look at or concentrate on holding the phone instead of the content. And also a good point, which is not here on the list, is do not make perfect projects, because we are working with a smaller screen and it's also in the hand, so it's a little bit shaky, which is excuses a lot. So try to somehow find the shortest way and integrate it and see on which ends you have to work. Integrate audio. Audio is also a layer that you can use, and you also saw on the examples that we have in museums that it's offering a lot of value and information. If it's music, if it's sound effects, if it's narration, whatever, just use also audio, because you have this layer as well. We don't have vibration yet, but I think it was a great idea. And we will look into that. Add the links so people then can also follow you or the art that you're doing or the project further. So give them this opportunity. Iterations. So don't, also what I mentioned before, don't try to make something that is perfect. Do just an idea, use something, prototype, film somebody if you want to use an actor from your friends, and just upload it and see how it's working, and then you can see on what you have to do. So you can see how easy it is to iterate. We have seen that we started with a project, and in 3 iterations that took 10 minutes or 15 minutes in total, we had a pretty decent outcome. And try new approaches. Try to surprise yourself and also the community. Try to go to new things, because this is what augmented reality offers. It's on somehow limited because we only have like videos and images, but you can do so much with this, and try to do something new. Try to do something also that surprises you. And then the tools that I mentioned that you'll also find in the manual, Animatron, then the MagLive. It's really fun. It's such yeah. I think it's maybe an app that you use once or twice, but the times that you're using it, it would make a lot of fun. Stop Motion Studio. which is great because it helps you create stop motions, and it's also detecting when you're taking the hand out, so to make a picture automatically, and you can also see the frame before. So it's like an assistant that helps you to create stop motions very easily. DaVinci Resolve is like After Effects and Premiere, but it's for free. So it's a very great video edit software. Animatic is a great doodling app, which also uses this blending of the frame before, so it's easier to have frame animations, and you can just add frames and create your animations. And that's it. That's it from my side. Okay, so if there are any questions, we can go and answer them. I could answer them, or we can just go directly and create the project.
Yeah, and since you're not presenting, I mean, people could put on their mics and ask them if they want to. It's not like you're not interrupting or anything.
Exactly. I will also do the same. So I will just create a project myself, so you can see what I'm doing, and interrupt me, and I can answer any questions.
I'm trying to think, like, if we make a project and we want to share it, would we then like send the file maybe into the chat or something, so that
That's
other
a great
people
idea.
could look at it? Okay, cool. So I'm working on a few, but the first one I had didn't have enough stars, so I'm waiting on the second one.
But you can upload the image on the chat, and I can tell you what you could do, so you get more stars on that.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I have a lot of them. It's not for my Instagram, but I'm just gonna see if it works for a second. Let's see.
So I will just make now a picture of my cover, and then I will upload it, and then I will film Millhouse.
It looks like there's some questions in there. Sergio.
Yeah, I was on mute, sorry. I'm uploading the audio. Any suggestions? So the easiest way would be to add the audio to a video. You can do that with iMovie or a Movie Maker on the computer, or you can also do it on the phone. Does it work for you, Nikki? The image that you sent?
Yeah, it worked for me. It took a minute, but it worked.
Okay, yeah. I have to go a little bit closer. Oh, cool.
That's my like art thing I do. Yeah, so when I do it, I think it worked when I did it my phone landscape.
Mm-hmm.
But also my question was when I do, there's the eyeball on the app, and I'm going to the image, right? Like getting close. I don't need to press. What is that eyeball for?
Eyeball is actually for, you don't have to press anything. It should go automatically. The eyeball is for
That's what I
the...
kept doing, and it was messing it up, but now it's working.
Okay, that's weird. The eyeball is actually just for the art feed.
It's
where
for
you
what?
can, the art feed, we call it art feed, where you can see different recordings from different artworks around the world.
Oh, okay. I think because it was in the middle top, I thought it was part of the process.
Yeah, I think we have to work
and then
on
it would
that.
take me somewhere else, and I'm like, who is this? But now I get it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
someone else sent one. Let's see what this is. We got base.jpg.
Oh, very cool. Oh, cool. Is it with animated pictures from the painting? Looks like. And you did it just right away now? You didn't hear me. You did the animation right away now, or did you find it somewhere?
I just did it with
cool. Cool. You're fast.
I'm used to it.
Okay. But I think it's cool also that it's with images. Somehow it looks like, feels like it's with images from the poster, and it ends with
little photos inside.
And it ends somehow with the picture that we have in the back, or like the starting picture
Popping out of the painting.
Cool. Did you enjoy it? Was it easy?
Yeah, I thought that it was fun to do the 3D thing because I know how to use Blender and Unity. So I'm still figuring it out, but I think that was cool to change, to put in one picture and then have the video behind, like figuring out that.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
It's just totally the basics, but gives you a little bit of feeling, and you can work a little bit with the space. So for example, we also have an artist who, depending on where you're in the room, because it's a really big artwork that they have, you have a totally different perspective of what you're looking. Because
Are you
playing with the
using
paint,
Apple's AR kit for this software that you built for
no,
the iPhone?
No. So we started 3 years ago, and ARKit was just coming out. And we decided to not use ARKit because we want to have it work also on all the smartphones, also the cheaper ones who do not have ARKit or AR Core. So we decided that we're building it native. So also the cheaper and older phones are working, because if somebody's going to an exhibition, you cannot explain that they have to have the latest iPhone, and that was back in 2017. So what we did was building it from scratch native, and now we're thinking to switch, or we're working on switching on Unity to have it like a shell, and have it that we can just develop it once and then we can export it for Android and for iOS. That's why sometimes we have some problems with Android, because there are so many phones coming out from different brands that it's very hard for us to keep pace.
I'm having an issue when I try to edit what I uploaded. I don't see anything in kind of the middle of the screen.
So you click on edit and then nothing happens, right?
No, it brings me to the editing environment, and it has the side, the sidebar, but it doesn't have anything in the middle.
if you're clicking on that, and if you click refresh,
Okay. Cool.
okay, cool.
Basic problems.
Did you try to restart it on and off? I also did a stop motion with in-house. I will send you the file. How is everybody doing? Any questions? Problems? Solutions? We should have some background music.
Hi, do you listen to me? Sorry, my computer got
Yes.
freeze.
Yes.
There's only 3 options for the video, right?
You can only add in 3D mode 3 videos and 6 images. And it's limited to 3 videos and 6 images. because we don't want to have too much data for the users to download and wait too much. It's not about the data, but then they have to wait until the data is loaded, so they might lose interest. So that's why it's limited.
Okay, I was working with one video only, but I think it's too, I don't know, too simple. I'm adding more.
You can use in the basic mode. So if you're going in the basic mode here, you can add with just one image and a video. If you want to add more, you have to go in the 3D Pro mode.
Yeah. I was right there.
Cool.
Thanks.
Welcome. So we have a question, how I create a link with a video. What do you mean with a link with a video? So you want to share the recording or?
Yes, in the video, in your example, you put the link, the
Yes.
program or the video and the information.
So you can use it with this button here. So you also have it in basic. Artwork info, can you see it? You can use it, so you can set up the profile and you can put here the web page, Instagram, all the links that you have. And this will automatically be taken when you create the artwork info. Or you can leave it blank and you can add it one by one here. You can see here, I can, for example, just let the website and add the name of the artist. Right? So you have the artwork info button here, and then you can add the links as you wish.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Another good point is that we have on YouTube, on our channel, we have one tutorial which takes like 5 minutes and explains everything, the whole interface again, so you can just watch that. But we also have tutorials from the artists from the community. They will send you now the playlist, all the tutorials here. The first video is the tutorial that we made. And this is, and then afterwards you find on different things like how to use a stop motion animation, how to use 3D pre-mode, how to duplicate images, how to optimize image recognition. So on different topics, we have different tutorials that you can watch also afterwards. I just shared the link also in the chat. But you mentioned this feature, right, Christina, where you can add the links. The video is really cool. And also the poster. Yeah, so with merch, that's a great idea. We have a few bands and artists who are using it. Also for LPs, to sell LPs, they have the artworks on the LPs also connected with Artivive. So it's like something special, and t-shirts and also different business cards and posters to connect it with the music. Oh, cool. It's with the sound, right?
Yeah, with just the baby JPEG, it'll work. But I took a screenshot of how the sweater looks. The only thing that pops up is SoundCloud.
Oh, cool.
But ideally, like music would start playing, and then I don't know if you can like click elements in Artivive to like go to a link.
You can click on the artwork info to follow that, but we don't have
Okay.
a special. And that's still in the part where we so it will come sooner or later, I hope sooner, where we have to educate both the viewer that there is opportunity of interaction and how they can use it, but also with the creators that they don't overdo it. Because it's always, the first experience, it's defining if people will do something again. So we have to be very careful with that. So we have to see how we can add it so that it's not too much interaction, but it also has an added value for both sides.
Cool. Yeah, maybe if like linked elements maybe like illuminate, like they flash yellow or something. Yeah. Cool.
That you have from user interface input that that it's something like the links that with blue and underline. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Hyperlinking, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Was it fun? Was it easy to use for you?
Yeah, it was super user friendly.
So that's what we always push, and I think it's great that we can have this workshop with the gray area, that we want to show how easy it is. And then you'll see that you see things a little bit different. And it's like, hey, we can put this in augmented reality and we can this extend, and then you can try, and then you can see that more and more ideas are coming alive, and you can just try it out.
Yeah, I think the only hard part was coming up with elements and like the video.
Yeah.
But that's just like artists.
Yes. but the thing, the moment that you have a clearer view of what you want to do and the message, then it will come automatically, and you will always find the shortest way to integrate it.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Is like you're more in the music?
At the moment, so by day I'm a data analyst, and And I'm trying to think of ways to make data visualization more interactive and like
Here you go.
personalized. Exactly. Yeah. And then for fun, I've been making music, but previous to those two things, I was just a photographer.
Great. So we had a project with the patent office in Austria where they had like this year, every year they're bringing out a book with a lot of numbers, what they did. It's like the annual book. And they worked together with an artist who interpreted the numbers new. So she used confetti to show how many people, and they used also this glasses that you use in the lab to show how things are changing, the numbers. So she used other items to somehow connect and show the data in a different way.
That's really cool. Yeah, there are a lot of articles right now talking about how using data visualization to inform about COVID isn't effective, or it's like overwhelming. And that's something that like would be interesting to solve. Like if we had posters or charts in like the subways and stuff like that, and you just put your phone in front of it and you can see like the current stats. That would be really cool.
And that's another very good point, because you can also change the content. You have something that it's printed and you can change the content whenever you want. For example, we had an artist who during the lockdown made an artwork free for everybody to print. And it was a PDF and you could get it and print it. And then when you will scan every day, he had another walk that he connected to the artwork for people who are inside. He was having walks through the woods, at the beach. So it's like, it was like a window to outside.
That's so cool. That kind of reminds me of there's like an eagle cam where they have like a camera set up on this eagle, and you can like check in every day about how the babies are doing. Like you can have a poster of the eagle in your house and then like check in on your phone.
Or also postcards. So what we also see that is working very good, and that's also for the band, postcards. People love postcards for some reason. And they also, because the format is good, you can also put it in the pocket and people like to somehow take it. And if you have like an augmented reality extension to it, add somehow a value. And this is the way how we present ourselves most of the time, with different postcards from artworks.
That's a good point. Do you have you seen those lenticular postcards? Yeah, I'm obsessed with them. Yeah, I collect them, and it's just like this precursor to AR. That's how I feel, at least.
So we have, I have to think. So there is an artist in Brooklyn called Julie Gratz. And if you Google it, I don't know, she works with different galleries all over New York and Brooklyn. And she has a lot of different exhibitions. I don't know how it's doing right now with COVID, but maybe you can get in touch with her or find her on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and see. I will just search for her and send you a link, and maybe visit one of her shows and see how she's doing. She's really great. She has some extremely cool artworks, and she also has a lot of postcards. So maybe you can get some of those.
Cool, thank you. Can you type her name in the chat?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, I have a question. Your name is Sergio?
Yes.
That is not a question. I was just...
That was everything. So yeah, my name is Sergio. I'm originally from Romania. But when I was 18, I moved to Austria because I wanted to study computer graphics, and I couldn't in Romania. I didn't find the university. And Sergiu is a Romanian name. There's also the same name in Portuguese, Sergiu.
Sergio.
Exactly.
Sergio.
Sergio Spanish, Sergey Russian, Serge French. So it's a very international name actually.
Yes. I was reading about some mobile VR goggles, and I read that Google just gave up projects like Daydream and Cardboard because they realized that it's too hard for people to convince people to get away from their mobile phones and put them on a VR or goggles. And I was thinking about how we can how we can convince people to stay with our apps on their phone using augmented reality all the time because it's too hard for them to, I don't know, to convince them that this project is something they want, they need.
I think this is also one of the reasons why we started with Artivive and going to the direction of art, is because people tend, when they're interacting with arts, to let the guard down and be more curious. And also, if they're going to an exhibition or to a museum or to a festival, they're going to experience something new. So it's much easier to let them install the app and interact with it. So obviously, you'll always find people who are against, and either they're not interested or they don't have the time to do it. But it's like the same with art. It's also not for everybody. So I think it's important to learn from those who are interested and interact with them and see where the road goes. And I think the others will follow later. I can remember there was like some years ago where people was like, I don't need a smartphone. It's just like I have a phone for messaging and texting, and this is everything that I don't need. You don't find as many now, you know. Also, before some years, there was prohibited to take pictures in museums. Which nowadays seems insane with the age of social media and Instagram, where they're asking is like, this is the hashtag, this is where you take the picture, and this is what you're posting. So I think it's like how the society is changing. And Google, sometimes they have a lot of projects, and this is great because they also have the Friday where everybody can work on their own projects, and Cardboard was one of those projects. And depending on how they can monetize and use it for their own products, they're following it or not. Google Glasses were also at some point stopped because they didn't move as fast as Google wanted. So Google, I think, is too big to they're deciding very fast if it's something that is matching in their portfolio or not.
I'm having trouble getting an image recognized, but I'm not sure why. It's high contrast and it's fairly graphical.
Can you send it into the
Yeah, I put it in the chat. It's image 8870.
Perfect. I will look right now. Yeah, the thing is, like, it seems that it's a little bit blurry and with round elements where the app doesn't know where up and down is. It's sometimes difficult, but let me just have a look. Did you also try to convert it to black and white?
I will try that now.
You can also try it together. Oh, this is cool.
Thanks.
The one. So. So I used it with a green filter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just uploading it right now. Let's see how it's working.
Okay, so is it just the blurriness that was probably the issue?
It could be also a little bit of blurriness.
Okay.
But now I know what you mean with neons.
Yeah. Light is hard enough to photograph.
But you know what? It's like when you're having an upcoming show, let's keep in touch. And I'm sure that we'll find a solution how we can use it. If it's not working right now, you also have my email address, so we can keep in touch, and we can also have a call and see how we can make that it's working.
Okay, I mean, so this is part of a series. This is a test for a series. It's going to be displayed at the end of October in like a second floor window gallery. So you're going to be interacting with it mostly from the street. So I'm also kind of concerned about distance from the piece. And just like, you know, the time of day suggestion was good for different recognition, which you mentioned earlier. So if I'm using time of day, does that mean I'm uploading like multiple artworks like per each like singular piece of neon that I have, just so it goes the same animation every time? Okay.
I will track it like that, yeah.
You could even do, just thinking of like, because you know I run the incubator at Gray Area. We had an exhibit with someone doing AR, who's using AR kit. Last time we did it in real life before everything was virtual, and one thing you could try would be not only to do different time of day shots with your neon pieces, but to do a shot of the neon hanging on the wall at different proximities. And so you'll probably be uploading on the website like maybe 6 images per piece. But that way you would be able to make sure that despite the proximity of the viewer, despite the time of day, you'd be creating enough variation so that it would always detect. That's what I would do anyway.
Yeah, no, that's a great
And
suggestion.
you can reach out to me too. I'll give you my email. Yeah, if you have questions, just because I've done so much, you know, curating and exhibition design with AR, VR, and all this type of stuff. So I've got some, mainly though has been indoors, but I have a pretty good knowledge of that type of situation.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Wait, who is this? who am I talking to?
You're talking to me.
She cannot see you because she has.
You're talking to Camille.
Oh, it's Camille. Yeah, because I'm doing the live stream, so I have to have it in speaker only view, so I can't see anyone. So this is the problem.
You're listening to the lovely tones of Camille.
Camille. Okay, good. I see my email. Okay, good. Perfect. Yeah, and I actually think I wanted to take your neon class, by the way, like before everything shut down, and then I somehow couldn't take it. So you teach that class, right, at the Crucible?
I do, yes.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about. So
excellent.
I can help you with AR. I can help you with neon. I do LED. I teach physical and wearable tech and
very
LED
cool
stuff. So anyway, but I've always wanted to be interested in neon. So very excited.
This is the analog of the light world.
Yeah, that's what I want to learn because I went backwards and learned the other way. Okay,
cool.
This was a really great workshop. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. And Camila, I somehow made it to have 2 stars right now. I will send you the image. But it's also because it's very round. So it was the blurriness.
Okay.
But because, so if you
the
have
roundness is part of the issue. Okay, because I have like a series of 10 of these. So
and they're all round?
Oh yeah, they're all round. The insides are different, but they're all round.
Maybe you can just take the inside.
Just photograph the inside?
Yeah, or crop it, the photograph, the image that you're uploading, just the inside, because you can use with the 3D mode, you can go a little bit outside.
Perfect.
Emil, didn't you say that your artwork is going to go in windows? Maybe that will help frame the art piece a little bit better if you take a photograph in the actual window it's going to be in.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Well, that's the plan, but I think that the struggle with that is it's like a great distance.
Here, I'm gonna turn
Yeah, you know, creative problem solving.
Okay, are you
Thank you, Sarah
Yeah,
G.
thanks, Camille. Yeah, feel free to reach
Thank
out.
you very much.
So yeah, thanks everybody again. You can keep in touch with us. There's also I think you got sent the chat server invite for Gray Area. We have a chat server that I can invite you to. And yeah, thanks for taking this workshop. And thanks for being part of the Gray Area Festival. And
Thank you so
teaching
much.
us this cool
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah, thank you. This was a great workshop. Learned a lot.
Gracias.
And it's a really easy tool to use as well.
Thank you. And you have my email address if you have any questions or if there's anything that I can help you with, more than happy. And we also have our team on the chat or on the support. So we are here for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice Sunday.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you so much. This was so cool.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Be safe. Bye.
So I stopped the live recording. Or no, it's
Perfect.
still